Ian Thorpe is number one. A kickstart for Australia. Gold and a world record.
Now it's Donovan Bailey trying to pick up runners. Donovan Bailey is putting on a third. He's got it! 9.84, a world record for Donovan Bailey and a gold medal!
A perfect score. 10.0 for Nadia Comaneci. A perfect score.
The first time I've never seen this.
So in over 100 years, nobody's won as many medals at the Olympic Games in any sport than this great champion, Michael Phelps.
Usain Bolt sprinting ahead, winning by daylight and setting a world record, 9.68. The wind is okay. How easy was that?
Good evening, everybody, and welcome once again to Off The Podium, an Olympics podcast, as we come to you for episode 9, a day 7 recap of the 2016 Rio Summer Olympic Games, even though they're actually being held in winter, but we've already gone over that. Big thrill to be back once again for another big day of Olympic action. Lots to talk about, lots to get through, and we actually have a full lineup of hosts on the show today, including that man from the plains of Emu, Mr. Jarrod Lubeek. Jarrod, welcome back to Off The Podium.
It's good to be back with the full team. I feel like I brought up silver a couple of days ago that we needed to win some more. I'm officially changing that. We need to win some more golds. The silver quota is reached, so no need to purposely throw these gold medals away. We can start winning some again.
Yeah, stop pulling a Campbell, Australia. Just actually go out there and win yourself a gold medal, okay? Like, we've had enough of the silver. That was all London 4 years ago. It was silver, silver, silver. We got sick of it. So we want to actually win some gold. So listen to Jarrod. Otherwise, you're not allowed to return to the country, as we've already established so far. But also joining us, speaking about returning to the country, well, he's in the country right now that they're actually doing quite well because they have won a gold. They've won 2 gold in the space of 2 days, which is more than Australia's won in the last 2 days. And he's returned from celebrating along with the rest of the country of Canada. It is Mr. Colin Hilding. Colin, welcome back to Off The Podium.
I can't tell you how disappointed I was to not be able to be on yesterday's show for Penny Alexiak, but it's all made up for today because Rosie McLennan wins gold.
Yes, the one hope you had before these games, she's lived up to her reputation. Right. You've doubled your gold medals from 4 years ago, so, get to your magical 3, and then all of a sudden you're going to have a huge party.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it'll be on.
It will be on. And I apologise actually yesterday when I was giving the preview for the events that were happening on day 7. I said that you had to wait an extra day because according to the schedule I was reading, it was the men's trampoline that was on day 7. Clearly, unless Rosie is just that good, she can win in the men's as well. I think it must have been the female trampolining. But, medals won. I'm going to start with Canada again. We did this yesterday. I'm going to do it again today. You won gold. As you mentioned, Rosie McLennan in the women's trampoline. Back-to-back gold for her. Your flag bearer. It's the magic of carrying the flag. If only Anna Mears had have done that for us today. But, whatever. You called this before the games. Was this a lock? Was this an 100% gold medal for Canada no matter what? Or did she have to push and jump a little bit extra to win this one?
No, I mean, the thing is that there's not a lot that goes on with trampoline, at least on TV coverage. So it was really just as the event was starting that people were saying, I don't know if they were just trying to downplay it because they were worried, but they were saying, she suffered a concussion and her performance hasn't been as strong. They were saying that one of the Chinese jumpers was probably the front runner. And then after the qualifying, she qualified in, I think, 3rd and 5th after the first routine, 3rd after the second, and it's like, okay, well, there's an improvement here, but I don't know how likely it is that we're going to win. And then she pulls it off, and the most impressive thing about this is that she's become the first summer Olympian to ever defend a gold medal. And Canada. Only the 3rd for Canada. Yeah, in every country of the world, it has never happened.
I didn't hear about Michael Phelps winning 4 in a row. That was a dream.
But it's a big deal just because Summer Olympics has never happened. But in all honesty, it's not even a summer thing. This is only the 3rd Canadian Olympian ever to defend a gold medal in an individual sport, winter or summer. So this is by far the biggest news of the day. And right now, CBC, they could be airing track and field, which I'm having to watch on an app. Instead, they're actually replaying Rosie's event. There's an interview with her on TV right now. that's pretty much all it's going to be on for the whole day, I think.
Now, do they have an athlete watching her performance? Like, are they, just doing the CBC, regular moment that they do?
Sort of, actually. That's what's funny. When trampoline first broke out, I think I mentioned in another episode, it was back in Sydney. We really weren't doing too well. And then in trampoline, we had this one athlete, Karen Coburn, who medaled. And she medaled 3 times in a row. And last Olympics was her first one that she didn't. She came in 4th, but that was the one where Rosie got the gold. So during Rosie's interview on CBC, they cut to a picture that Karen Coburn took at her house watching the event with all of her family and friends. So Rosie's mentor was captured in picture form watching the event. I guess it will become a trend.
I actually remember the trampoline in Sydney because we got silver in the men's. Jai Wallace, I believe it was, took silver in that event, actually. So I think that's our only ever gymnastics medal in the history of the Olympics. So we'll take that. We did, and we've not even come close since. So anyway, go Australia. But you also won a silver and a bronze. It's not just your gold. I mean, good on you, Rosie, but you got a silver when it came to the lightweight double sculls. Don't get that confused with the heavyweight duo or whatever the other categories there are in this freaking sport of rowing. Lindsay Jenrick and Patricia Obi won that one, and a bronze.
You pronounced 2 names right.
Did
nice.
I? Oh, wow. Gee.
Yeah.
You go away for a couple of days and I've been practicing. Because we're seeing a lot more of Canada on our screens recently than Australia when it comes to medals. And bronze, swimming, again, calm down in the swimming, Colin. You're going to turn into Australia. Hilary Caldwell in the 200-metre backstroke, she took that one there. So, I mean, I think you were probably expecting to do this podcast and be like, oh yeah, there was a day where we didn't win a medal. Oh, another day we didn't win. You've won them every freaking day. Calm down, Canada.
It's crazy at this point, especially in the swimming. There was no expectations going in. And again, I think that maybe they were just trying to downplay because we have had Olympics. I mean, Athens is a big one where I can remember big expectations going in and then it just completely falling apart. And even a little bit, I guess in London, expectations that we could have at least gotten, one more gold. But a lot of it, I think, just has been downplaying this time. But when the swimmers that are winning are as young as they are, I don't think there's any way you can predict because they've only been on the scene for a year and a half, maybe.
So I'm guessing then, come Tokyo, Canada will be expecting top 5 on the medal tally.
Based on our swimming alone, I think we might be able to. It's possible. It is within our reach now.
Yes, definitely. Stuff the Winter Olympics. We're on for the Summer Olympics now in Canada. I'm just looking here.
That's right. We're cancelling the snow for the rest of the year.
Yes.
We need to practice.
So you've won 10 medals in total now. I've just quickly looked here at London. So you won 18 in London. So you're already over halfway there. Obviously, as I said, you've doubled your gold. You're at the halfway point of your bronzes from London, so you're nearly there, and you're nearly at the halfway point of your silvers. But again, it's all about those magical golds, and stuff the silvers, stuff the bronzes for Canada for once.
Yeah, and I mentioned I think a couple days ago that the goal that they had going in was they just wanted to win one more medal than they did in Beijing. So if we hit 19 in total, they've hit their goal, but. It's all going to depend on whether we can keep up the momentum in track and field now that we had in swimming.
Well, actually, Australia now, I can just see, we're at 18 medals, and we are also at our past the halfway point of what we reached at London, which I guess is kind of good, considering that it's basically the halfway point of the Games. But, Jarrod, for us, again, no gold. We had a bunch of people pulling a Campbell today, but in the silver position, we had 2 silvers. I again blame you for calling for silvers the other day. You just rectified that a few moments ago. The team pursuit in the cycling, Alex Edmondson, Jack Bobridge, Michael Hepburn, Sam Welsford, and Callum Scottson for that one. And in the men's coxless fours, I said coxless today, not cockless like I did yesterday. William Lockwood, Josh Dunkley Smith, Josh Booth, and Alexander Hill. Sadly for us, in both of those, we lost to Britain. But I can stomach losing to Britain more so than if it was New Zealand or France. And in the bronze, this guy, to me, could well be the star of the Australian Olympic team right now, because this guy is a legend. Dane Bird Smith bronze in the men's 20-kilometre walk. We're going to be talking a lot about Dane today because, I think he's, we put gold medalists on postage stamps. This guy should be on a postage stamp just for being awesome. We do well in the walking. We like to walk in Australia because there's lots of places to go to and they're very far apart. So, Jarrod, sadly no gold, but we still won a few medals today.
Yeah, I mean, it was a decent haul. I think the bronze medalists have paved the way for the rest of Australia to know how to react when you win a medal. Between Dane, Bird Smith, Jessica Fox, I'm sure there were a couple of others. The bronze medalists just love it. The silver medalists, not so much. They're a little bit jealous of the gold medalists, but I think bronze is that bit further removed from gold that they can kind of just be glad that they got on the podium because they were so close to missing out. Shame to lose to Great Britain. I'm sure we'll get an inquiry into the swimming at the end of the Olympic Games, which they always seem to do one, and look where we went wrong. But really, I mean, that needs to come in the rowing and in the cycling, I feel, is where we really need to take a look into why we're losing to GB.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the water boatmen. They're just letting us down. They're really just not doing well. We've got 1 day left of rowing. We'll talk a little bit about that later because there's a strong Tassie connection for our rower that could win us a gold today, and potentially in recording this episode, I will say, to date it, we're actually doing this when day 8 of competition has already started, so we could be recording this as Australia win a gold, then talk about it tomorrow, if that makes sense.
Can I ask a question about the Australian swimming?
Please do, Colin.
Because I know that at least we're hearing talks that there was disappointment after London in swimming, right?
Oh, huge.
Yep,
massive
big disappointment.
So were there changes that are like very public that they made? Like, what did they do different? Because there were changes in Team Canada for swimming between the last two.
I think James Magnuson just was exiled from the team and things improved. I honestly don't know completely changes. I don't know if Jarrod, you might know anything there, but there was it was all about team morale in London. I mean, we went into that expecting so many medals, so many gold particularly. We joke about James Magnuson. I mean, he was the world record holder and world champion in the 100 metre there. It was basically a lock, for him to win the 100 metres. He got silver. And our 4x100 men's relay team was an absolute certainty lock because we had Magnuson, Eamon Sullivan, a bunch of other guys that were just I think they were like the 4 fastest in the world or something like that, and we didn't even get a medal in it. So, and there were talks that the team were just staying up late. They were taking the sleeping tablet, wasn't it, Equinox or whatever it was, Jarrod. It was massive. And I remember in London, because we only won the 1 gold in the swimming, and it took us till week 2 until we even got our second gold, which, I mean, at the moment we've obviously got 5. So it was the lowest amount of gold that we had won in swimming, I think, perhaps since Barcelona, I want to say. I don't know if that's correct or not, but yeah, I don't know, Jarrod, if you know. I mean, have you sort of tapped into the Australian swimming team to know exactly what they've done in the last 4 years?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the big changes were. I think, like you said, it was more so about team morale and supporting each other. They've had kind of, I suppose, there were a couple of social media issues surrounding the team kind of before and after the game, so I think they kind of cracked down on that a bit. Probably some coaching changes, so Canada better look out because I'm sure your coaches will be in our sights after the Olympics, so hold on to them and don't let us get them.
That's the funny thing, because what everything's being credited to right now is the fact that we brought on the coach for Great Britain's swim team who coached them in Athens, Beijing, and London. And then they're saying that's the reason why we've had this huge success this time. So I hope we have him in a contract for more than 1 Olympics right now.
Well, it's interesting, I think, with our swimmers because I remember growing up, it was all about the men. I mean, we had the Thorpes, the Klims, the Hacketts, the Perkins. It was all about that, and the women kind of, in the 90s at least, weren't the true force. Obviously we had the likes of Susie O'Neill, Petria Thomas, those sort of ones that, obviously peaked then come Sydney. But then 2000s, really, I think it was Athens kind of was a changing of the guard. Hackett retired, Thorpe retired, Hugel, Klim, all these ones that eventually tried to make comebacks, but they failed miserably. But then the women really took over, Lisa Jones, Libby Trickett, Stephanie Rice, all these sort of ones came out then at like Beijing and just dominated. And then really it's sort of been the last 8 or so years it has been our females that have been doing it. Having said that, though, in these games, of course, 2 of our swimming gold medals have come from the men. I mean, you talk about, we're talking about off air about your little athlete profiles, how nobody really sort of thought of Penny Alexiak and all this sort of stuff. No one here knows who Kyle Chalmers was. We talked about this the other day. We had no idea who the fuck he was. And he wins us a gold in the 100 metres freestyle. So, I guess that's kind of something when it comes to Australia there. So, it's interesting because, swimming is one of, our most successful summer Olympic sport, our most successful Olympic sport. It's not really a winter one that's overtaken swimming for us. But, Jarrod and I were talking a little bit about yesterday that we're kind of looking forward to the swimming being over. Just because of the oversaturation of it in our coverage, and also the fact that I don't know if you listened to yesterday, of course you did, Colin, but we'll refresh it for our listeners who might not have caught yesterday's episode. But, we won 3 medals yesterday, but the leading headline for everything in our media was the fact that the Campbell sisters choked. It wasn't about the fact that, glorious silver and bronzes. No, the Campbell sisters let us down. So that is the extent of swimming in Australia in our media.
Shame on you, Anna and Elsa.
Yeah, yes. It was fascinating, actually, that, again, they've both made the final of the 50 metres. I mean, we'll talk about that later, but, there was this huge news story about them having this interview, and I don't know if it was Kate or Bronte, one of them, obviously, there's only 2 of them, broke down, and was like, oh, the support, and it's been amazing, and all this sort of stuff. Like, I feel for them. They were the fastest in the world, all this sort of stuff, but the Olympics are the Olympics. It is what it is. These sort of things happens all the time. So, of course, as I said yesterday, it's disappointing not to win a gold. I was happy that a Canadian took it, so that was fine. You move on and, look forward to our next pulling a Campbell today. So, we'll see how that goes.
This is like The Simpsons, so it's like, I just pulled a homer.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as we were mentioning yesterday, after Salt Lake, when Stephen Bradbury got the gold, it was all about pulling a Bradbury, coming from behind and just waiting for everyone to fall over. Now it's pulling a Campbell, when you choke and you don't win a gold. But other results outside the medals, I'm glad that Colin's here today, and so I don't just have to randomly choose a Canadian athlete from nowhere to be like, oh, in the weightlifting, they didn't do well. So I'll be intrigued to know how Canada did. But going over the Aussie results, archery, sadly, Taylor Worth, one of our bronzed in the teams, he lost a quarterfinal shoot-off to Bonchan Koo of Korea, who actually went on to win the gold medal. So he went down fighting there, Taylor, so good result for him. Athletics, as I mentioned, obviously Dame Bird Smith, he won the bronze, we'll get to him after. Just a couple other ones to note. Eloise Wellings, the best ever result for an Australian in the 10,000 metres. She finished 10th and beat her personal best, 31 minutes, 14.94 seconds. That's probably a lot longer than it would take me to do the 10 kilometres. A lot quicker, I should say. I'm not that good. Other way around, Ben. Jarrod, how's your 10,000 metres? Good?
It's pretty good in a car or on a bike.
Yes.
Maybe even rowing. Running, not so much.
What about your dressage? How would you go at the 10-kilometre dressage?
I'm boycotting it, so it would be DNS, did not start.
Yep, exactly. Interestingly enough, there's already question marks over the winner in that one. We'll get to that a little bit later, because there was a world record in that event. We'll talk about that. Also, in the athletics, sadly, Matthew Denny and Ben Harradine missed the discus final. They were locks, Jarrod. I'm disappointed in them. They're not coming home.
Yeah, that was pulling a Campbell if ever I've seen one.
They just epitomised pulling a Campbell with that. Denny was 19th, Harradine 20th. Yeah, okay, we don't care about them anymore. We're over them. Jeff Risley, Luke Matthews, and Peter Bowl all missed the semis of the 800 metres. Sadly, our one competitor in the women's 100 metres, Melissa Breen, didn't make it out of her heat. We know Josh Clark's going to do us proud in the 100 metres. Jarrod, we're all looking for him to
absolutely
to pull a Bradbury. None of this pulling a Campbell business. And Fabrice Lapierre, the silver medalist in the World Championships last year in the long jump, he's through to the long jump final. So congratulations, Fabrice. Anybody with the name Fabrice is all right in my books. Badminton, we've got a bit of news with this. I'm excited to talk about badminton, as we always are. I'm not excited for the fact that both our teams lost. Mixed doubles team of Leanne Chu and Robin Middleton lost to Malaysia. But our good friends, and I can say our good friends now with this one, the doubles pairing of Matthew Chow and our very good mate Sarwan Sarasinghe lost to Russia. But I got some great news. We got a reply the other day, didn't we, from, was it Emily, wasn't it? Your baby's favourite athlete. I've gone blank, Colin. Help
Emily
me out.
Overhaul.
Thank you. I'm so fixed on Penny Oleksiak. Alexiak. God, I'm saying her name wrong now. But we got a couple of favourites by Sawa and Sarah Singy on Twitter. I kind of forced his hand and asked for a shout out, and he tweeted back saying that it's awesome that we're supporting him. Thank you so much for the support. So we have our first Australian reply, and considering he only has 117 followers on Twitter, it really wasn't that hard to get a reply. But I'm still I'm still calling it a win.
If all of our listeners follow him as well, he might double his Twitter followers.
Yes, exactly. Wow, that's a good point. So everybody go out there. He's at SKSBROS, so SK Spros. That's his Twitter handle. Everyone go out and follow Sarwan. He's got one more match to go with his doubles buddy of Matt there, so good luck to him. Basketball, Boomers thrashed China 93-68, second in their group, and they are looking comfortable to make it to the quarterfinals. Boxing, big shock. We talked up yesterday, Shelley Watts. In the boxing, she suffered a shock defeat to the Italian Irma Testa. I think she's got a career in drug testing after the Olympics, but she beat our Aussie, and Daniel Lewis also out. Cycling, mentioned we got a silver. Sadly, team sprint, Anna Mears, our flag bearer, couldn't pull what Canada does because she and Stephanie Morton in the sprint were fourth, but Anna's got the Kieran today, I believe. I think she's got a couple of events, doesn't she, Jarrod? She's doing more than one, yes, clearly.
You'd think so. You'd think she'd have an individual sprint in there somewhere.
Oh, that's what she's good at. We know that. Diving. Both our divers in the 3-metre springboard somehow survived the green pool. And Esther Kin and Madison Keeney, 5th and 9th, through to the semis. Colin, the green pool. Like, Ken, I just can't get over this at an Olympic Games. They can't clean it properly.
I just heard today they were saying it's like, you know, the athletes are being told the water is safe, it will not harm them. So I guess they're just going to accept it at this point. Maybe this is like early St. Patrick's Day.
This is what we were talking about the other day. The fact that the Brazilian officials are literally like, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I mean, again, it's the Olympics.
They're just trying to match They're trying to match their country's colors. Like, it's patriotism.
Now, well, this is what we were saying with our swimmers that they could. Well, that was our fan message, wasn't it, the other day, Jarrod? To pee in the pool, make it green and gold. So that's how it works. But it's actually funny. There was a store. They had to close it for a little bit yesterday, I think, or this morning, to kind of finally see if they can clean it. Because apparently they went and put a bunch of chemicals in it that were burning the water polo players' eyes in the pool next door. But British, one of the Tom Daly, not Tom Daly. That's the diver's name? I can't remember his name. I don't follow the Brits. But anyway, he tweeted saying that they closed it, and then somebody else came out and said that a German water polo player was overheard saying that the pool smells like a fart. The Olympic legacy of Rio is the green pool that smells like a fart. Anyway, so that's the diving. Football, this is, like, I know, Colin, you're going to be talking up the success of Canada. All the power to the Canadians. I'm all on board them. But, Jarrod, I don't know if you watched this morning. The Matildas, so gallant. They held Brazil 0-0, took them to penalties. Looked like we were about to win it when our goalie saved, the World Player of the Year shot, and then our Matilda choked and did a Campbell. And then, sadly, we lost 7-6 to Brazil, basically. Did you see much of this today, Jarrod?
I did. I watched the extra time and the penalty shootout. This is the events like this is what you watch the Olympics for when it comes down to this. I mean, we lost, but it was still exciting to watch. You still felt proud. Even for like Brazil, like I was happy for them still. They were so emotional. This is the moments in the Olympics that you live for and that make it all worth it. Absolutely.
And I mean, the shock, America lost to Sweden earlier, the world champs. So I mean, we could have been taking on the Swedes, but oh well, Brazil are through. Already our media, we'll get to that at news.com.au, even shitter. They're blaming somebody for us losing. It's not the Campbells this time. Golf, Marcus Fraser still winning, only by a shot now, but come on, Marcus. We know you're going to pull a Campbell, but just keep holding on. Hockey, the Kookaburras thrashed Brazil 9-0. Rowing, Kim Brennan, she is due to swim at the time of recording this in about half an hour. I reckon we're going to be on air while this happens. She's through to the final of the single sculls. She's the favourite. Huge Tasmanian connection. She's married to one of our greatest Olympians from Tasmania, Scott Brennan, Olympic gold medalist in himself. I think she lives here in Tasmania too, if I'm not mistaken. So this could be a real connection to Tasmania. We'll take it. Come on, Kim, do it. Sailing. Well, gee, you've missed a lot on this, Colin. We love our sailing here on Off the Podium. Good news for all those sailing nuts out there. Our 470 men are only 2 points behind Croatia heading into the halfway point. Matt Belcher and Will Ryan, they're doing well. Tom Burton is third in the laser. He's 5 points behind Croatia, doing very well in sailing. I didn't know Croatia was good at sailing. They're leading that category ahead of Brazil. And look, I'm not going through all those results. Too much sailing. We'll win medals in it. Shooting. Now, Jarrod, we talked about this yesterday. We had a lock for a gold medal today, didn't we? Warren Potent, the great Warren Potent. I put the Mickey on him. I said, this is guaranteed gold. He finished 35th in the men's 50-metre rifle prone. He was beaten by our man, Dane Sampson, who backed it up for 31st. Now, this Warren Potent is he's the world champion, the world number one in the 50-metre rifle prone, a Beijing bronze medalist. He choked. He pulled a Campbell, Jarrod. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I'm disgusted. He's joining that list of athletes who are not coming home. They're staying out of the country until they bring back a gold from Tokyo, revoke his passport, revoke his citizenship until he brings home the gold.
I've already heard Jess Fox is camping out in Tokyo near the slalom, ready to go for 2020. So, Warren, go bunk up with Jess for the next 4 years, because you're not coming back home to Australia with that pathetic effort. And outside of that, though, Aslan Jones, 16-year-old, who's allowed to use a gun, she didn't make the final of the women's skeet, sadly. Swimming, both our teams are through to the 4x100 metre medley finals. Jessica Ashwood was 5th in the 800 metres. Belinda Hocking, 5th in the 200 metre backstroke. Our man Mac Horton, 4th of the 1500 metre. And those chokers, the Campbell sisters, as I said, are into the 50-metre final. Table tennis, sadly, our women's team of Melissa Tapper, Jian Fang Lei, and Sally Zhang lost 3-0 to North Korea. And water polo, our men went down in a bit of a close match to the world number one, Serbia, 10-8. They've got to beat Greece, I believe, in their last match to make the next round. Colin, Canada is going to get a bit more representation today. How did Canada go?
Well, let's start with the very good here. Gold medal, Rosie McLennan. I said it would happen. It happened. That means I'm way better at predicting, because Rosie didn't come in 35th in the trampoline. She came in first. Rowing, you already mentioned that Generic and Obi, they won the silver. That's our first rowing medal, and might be our last based on some of our performances. Carling Zeman, who I was talking up a little bit earlier on, she did not win. I don't even remember. I don't think she advanced to the finals. I missed that one. And tennis, sad story. Nestor and Pospisil, they were knocked out in the bronze medal match, but the fact they made it this far, I think, is a bit of a surprise as well. Hillary Caldwell, you already mentioned, won the bronze in the 200-meter backstroke. There was also the qualification for the final relay. We did qualify in second for that, and that will be, I guess, Penny Alexiak's last race. She didn't actually race in the qualifying, though. Athletics, that's the thing I'm really excited about. Not a great start, but there's no Andre DeGrasse yet. But Kamika Bingham, who's probably, I guess, our top female runner, she didn't qualify for the semifinals for the women's 100-meter. In the 1500 meter, though, another Winnipegger, Nicole Cifuentes, she's 12th after the first round, so she'll be in the semifinals. And the women's heptathlon, so this is probably where all the hype is behind Andre DeGrasse as the male athlete. All the hype right now is on the heptathlon, Brianne Tyson-Eaton. That she's currently in 6th right now in the heptathlon.
Pick it up.
Whether or not she was 5th last I checked, so I was disappointed to wake up this morning and see that she was in 6th, but still a chance there. Basketball, the first loss for Team Canada, the women Team Canada. They've had 3 wins in a row. Their first loss was to the United States, obvious. And boxing, this is our first hope in boxing since 1988, where one of the greatest boxers of all time, Lennox Lewis, won the gold medal for Canada. Mandy Bujold for Canada. She won her first bout against Odgoroy Mirzeva from Uzbekistan.
What a star he is. She's. Sorry.
She.
Whoops.
In all fairness, Yodgori is a gender-bending name, I guess.
In Uzbekistan, it can be male or female. Let's be honest. We are.
That's right, yeah. You had more success in cycling, as disappointing as it must be, than Canada had. I was telling Jarrod a funny story about this, but in the women's team sprint, we came in 16th overall. And it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen when they focus on the shots of the cyclists just before they start. And the Canadian had this look of rage like I've never seen. And they interviewed her afterwards, and she was like the most cheerful person you've ever seen, even though she lost. So she was obviously trying to get on her game face, and it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Looked like she was going to murder somebody. The camera cuts away. All of a sudden, you hear the commentators go, oh, and you turn back, and the Canadian has hit the floor and fallen off her bike from the standing position before the race even started. Delayed the whole start of it, obviously threw it off. They came in 16th.
Bugger.
We just failed to medal, thank you very much, Australia, in the women's 3-meter synchronized diving, but both of those divers, Bell and Ware, have advanced to the semifinals. Ware is currently in 7th, and Bell did finish the preliminary round in 1st place.
Oh.
Maybe another goal.
See, this is what we were talking about, the fact that, Great Britain wasn't it one of the diving ones the other day. We're saying that this green water is like, making them, the Chinese choke. Like, they're not used to green water, China. So Canada in with a real shot for gold here then.
That's right, because Canada's used to filthy water, so... This is strengthening us.
To them, it's clean. They're like, oh, this isn't dirty.
Yeah, that's right. We drink that stuff here. Like, that's amazing.
We bottle that. That's Niagara Falls.
Exactly. What else did we have? There's some results here on sailing, but I don't understand it, nor do I care. So I'm gonna.
It's still going. It doesn't stop. There's like 700 races a day.
Maybe I did try to watch it yesterday. I pulled it up on my app. And it just looked like a bunch of people sitting in a harbor not moving. So I don't think it had started yet. So I did turn to something else.
As everyone does.
Soccer.
Even when they're at the sailing, they're on their apps watching something else. Soccer.
So Canada still undefeated in soccer. 1-0 against France.
Yes.
The quarterfinal. So now we're moving on to the semis. Now, the funny thing about this is that I don't know if there's been just a shift, or because I only got to see like the last 10 minutes of the game, but maybe there's just been a shift in the expectations now, because going into London, I don't think anybody expected us to do as well as we did. We got the bronze, and there was a lot of talk that we probably should have won the semifinal match and even gotten into the gold medal match, but they were saying that Canada played terribly and that it was a fluke they got the one goal they did. I don't know if that's the case or not, but either way, we'll take it. It's a win. We're in the semifinals.
And you're up against a team you've already beaten, Germany. You've already beaten them in this tournament, so you must be feeling confident about that.
Right. Yeah. So that's going to be, I guess, all of the TV coverage. That'll bump everything off when it's on. And I guess the only last thing to mention, and it's not something I'm happy to say, but the other Winnipegger, she already has a couple of bronze medals, Chantal Van Landegem from Winnipeg. In the women's 50 freestyles, she finished 10th, so she won't
Campbell.
be anything. But she will be competing again in the final relay, where her and Penny Alexiak will win again. I'm calling it now. Well, there's no chance they'll finish in 35th because there aren't that many people left in it.
Colin, you've got to. We helped talk up Penny yesterday in your absence. I put in the social media post that we declared it Penny Alexiak Day, and a page on Facebook, which we have no idea if it officially is Penny Alexiak or not, liked our link. So We'll say it is Penny Oleksiak because it makes it sound cooler. But
well, in all fairness, I don't think an official Penny Oleksiak page is going to be posting daily updates on how many followers they have. Help us reach this many. They'd probably be focused on swimming.
Don't ruin it.
But the fact that you can look at our page and it says Penny Oleksiak likes this, as I said, that is the closest we will get to a gold medal.
When you actually,
real or not, it says Penny Oleksiak likes us.
When you actually search for her on Facebook, it actually comes up with like a person's profile that's fairly like, it's one of those ones where you can't actually add them as a friend. You can only message them. So like, it's obviously super private. I think that actually legitimately is her. So clearly the fame of winning all these medals, she's had to private herself. But that sounds a bit wrong. But I mean, is this being talked up in Canada? We mentioned this yesterday, Colin. I'm sure this has been mentioned, you know, in the blanket coverage of Penny Oleksiak being watched by former Olympians all day. But if she wins, like the most, I think you told us, the most medals won by a summer Olympian by a Canadian ever in one games. But if she can win one more medal, she joins the great Cindy, is it Klassen or Klaassen? Who won 5 in Turin. So this is like equaling Winter Olympians now. I mean, no pressure on Penny at all.
And also give a shout out, Winnipeg, Cindy Klaassen from Winnipeg. So I don't know if it will be something that this city will be happy about. It'll be a tied thing, so I think anybody in Canada will be happy. But I think if she ever were to beat Cindy Klaassen, at least the people in Winnipeg would probably be upset about it. I'm all for it, though.
I'm just intrigued. Actually, we said this yesterday. I didn't know if you knew this one, Colin. Of course you do. Everyone in Canada knows everything about Penny now. What am I talking about? But she's the very first athlete in the history of the Olympics to be born after the 1st of January 2000 to win an individual Olympic gold medal.
That I didn't know,
and
it makes me feel very old.
Yes. So she was born only 9 months. She was 9 months old when the Sydney Olympics were on. So
the reason she doesn't have a page on them, "Hi, my name is Team Canada," is because when they ask the question, "What's your first memory of the Olympics?" she's going to say, "Walking into the Rio airport." Plain
going to the trials and finding out what they were. And her brother plays for the Dallas Stars, Jamie Oleksiak.
That's right.
I didn't know that. There you go. All right.
And now he's the less famous in the family.
Wow, there you go. Other results on day 7 outside of our Canadian and Australian love. I think the big one really came in the swimming. Katie Ledecky, 800-metre freestyle in a world record time. 4th gold medal of the games, if you don't mind. So she's...
Did you see it?
Dominating. 19 years old. The female Michael Phelps, aren't they calling her? Or is she going to pull a Missy in 4 years' time and just be shit?
Did you see the race?
I saw bits and pieces of it, though. She, killed it?
Yeah, I think she was half a pool length away from the silver medalist. She was also an entire body length away from her own world record.
She's basically swimming so fast that she was in the Tokyo Games already.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to say really quickly, I think this is the difference between when they say, you know, the female Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps wins all these medals, but it will always be, you know, a close race still. I don't think anybody comes close to Ledecky when she's racing. Mm-hmm. I think that's the thing that's going to separate her from Phelps if she can keep this up, you know, in Tokyo and Flin Flon and beyond.
That's very good. Actually, speaking of Flin Flon, Jarrod and I were talking about this yesterday. Jarrod called it the other day that Penny Oleksiak, a lock for your closing ceremony flag bearer, surely. But I put it out there that she's a lock for Tokyo flag bearer and the torch lighter for Flin Flon in 2028. So, just putting it out there.
We're just pretty much filling up her itinerary for the next 8 years here.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be booking her appearances.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go. Also in swimming, was a 100-metre butterfly. Now, Phelps going for his 4th consecutive in this one like he did yesterday. But not only did he lose, he lost to a Singaporean swimmer by the name of Joseph Schooling. I'm going to say Schooling. He schooled Michael Phelps, and that was Singapore's not only first ever swimming medal, their very first gold medal in the history of the Olympic Games. So congratulations there to Joey S. But also in that race, the first time in Olympic history that there has been a 3-way tie for a silver medal in swimming. Phelps did get a silver ahead of Chad Leclos and Laszlo Che. Is it Che? Well, the Hungarian. So that was, I mean, Jarrod, we talked about this yesterday, the fact that they had to play 2 national anthems. Imagine if they had to play 3 national anthems, they won the gold.
Yeah, I was just thinking about this. I imagine if everybody in the race dead heated and you had 8 people on the gold medal podium. I mean, it would be difficult to plan that, but surely it can be done. I mean, I'm hoping for that. That's in my lifetime. I'd love to see an 8-way dead heat for the gold medal, all from different countries, all different national anthems. I mean, trying to fit them all onto the to the top level of the podium will be a little bit tricky. But I'm sure they'll be able to manage it somehow. Now,
my question I've got to raise this yesterday, is, like, there's obviously always a chance for a dead heat in a lot of sports, particularly swimming. Where do they get the extra medals from? Do they just have extra medals sitting there? Because, I mean, does this mean at the end of the Rio Olympics, they've got, like, a crap load of extra medals that the organisers, like, go, hey, Jimbo, this is for you, not cleaning the pool, have a spare gold medal. Like, I mean, where do they get them from? Colin, peg a guess. Do they just have a bunch of spare medals sitting in a case somewhere? Does Thomas Bach simply just press a button, here's a spare medal for you?
Well, they probably have them on order, and just in the event this happens, there's like some cheap plastic ones they have, some replica ones, the ones you can buy in the gift shop in the aquatic center, and they're like, okay, well, we're sorry, you will get yours, Mr. Phelps. We didn't have enough for this. We didn't expect 3 silver. Yours will be in the mail.
Yeah. Well, I suppose they had a spare silver left over from the day before when they didn't get one in the women's 100-meter freestyle because obviously had the 2 gold. But now we've got a spare bronze just hanging around there. So can I have it, Thomas? Can I send you a text? Can I have the bronze from the 100-meter butterfly? Also in the swimming, I thought this one...
I think that they're just siphoning out the events that nobody will notice are missing. Yeah. So they've got their quota of medals, and then how many fencing events do we have? No. In the rowing, the rowing. I mean, get rid of the events. There's so many events with 4 people in the rowboat. You don't need that. Get rid of one of them. Nobody will notice.
I think it goes
the
to
sailing,
the sailing.
How many classes there?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't show the sailing on TV, so you never actually see them getting their medals. So
I'm willing to bet that this sailing's going on so long that they're just pulling it all from sailing, and then when the Olympics are over a week later when sailing ends, they're like, I'm sorry, we ran out of medals. You should have finished sooner.
Here you go, get the tacky little Rio logo, we've got plenty of them. Just here you go. I thought this was interesting in the swimming, in the 50 metre, the men's 50 metre. Anthony Irvin of America won this. Now, this is amazing. He won this event in Sydney. He tied with Gary Hall Jr. 16 years ago in the same race. I think he's 35. But this is incredible. I mean, the 50 metres is kind of the jump in and just move your arms around a little bit and you might get first. Campbell's room with a shot then tomorrow. But, Jarrod, I mean, this is incredible. I mean, we talked about Penny Alexiak being 9 months old when Sydney was on. This guy was winning a gold medal. 16 years later, he's come back. I mean, Michael Phelps hasn't even had... I mean, he was in Sydney, but he didn't win a medal in Sydney. So, Irvin's got one over Phelpsy.
Yeah, talk about longevity. I'm looking forward to his 50-metre win in 2032. That should be a good one to look forward to.
In Hobart, following on from Flin Flon. Just backing it up. Wow, that's incredible. I mean, Colin, to put this in perspective, he's more than double the age of Penny Alexiak.
That's disgusting.
I'm not saying that they're, like, dating. I mean... I don't know where you're going.
We don't want to start any rumors.
No, well, exactly. He's old enough to be a dad. Technically, 35, 16? Could have been 19-year-old father. There you go. DNA test. It's like Days of Our Lives. New Zealand, they won some more medals. 2 silvers. We just guess should mention them. But in the 1,500 the 10,000 metres, in athletics, Ethiopia's Almaz Ayana won that in a world record time. And yeah, there's already apparently been questions raised. Is this legal? There was a Swedish runner, that's the one who won it. It's not saying her name. Larty, here we go. Sarah Larty. She basically came out after the race and said, I do not really believe that she's 100% clean. It's too easy for her. We saw no facial expression, while the rest of us are struggling for life at the back. How much difference can there be? I cannot say that she is not clean, but there is little doubt. And they apparently then, when they interviewed the Ethiopian at the end of the race, Almaz, she came out and said that she's clean and it was all to do with God and Jesus. So, okay then? Do they need to test them for, like, Bible studies or something? Like, I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know where I was going with that. I mean, is she... Yes or no, Jarrod, is she clean?
Yes.
Yes, oh, okay. Jarrod, Colin?
Jarrod administered the test himself,
Yes.
so he would know.
What was that, Irma Tester, the boxer before? Colin, is she clean? Or are we going to see this gold medal taken away from her in about a week when the Russians all get theirs taken away?
As long as she wasn't in the diving pool, I think she's clean.
Yes. I didn't notice any extra limbs coming off her, so that works. So the other medal results today, quickly going through these. As I said, archery, the individual was won by Kubon Chen, South Korea. Athletics, well, in the event that Dane Bird-Smith got the bronze, it was a China one too. Wang Zhen won that one, the 20k walk. The women's shot put, Michelle Carter, gold for the USA. What's so good about that is she beat Valerie Adams from New Zealand, who, if I'm not mistaken, won that in London. So, no defending your gold medals there, New Zealand. Cycling, as I said, Great Britain won the men's team pursuit, beat Australia. China took out the women's team sprint. Did either of you catch the Chinese helmets that had the face on the top of them? No? They were awesome.
Was that like a babushka doll looking thing?
It was kind of like a babushka. Yeah, that. It's kind of freaky. Like as they lean down on their bikes, there's like a face staring at you. It's awesome. Look it up. Jarrod, your favourite event, the team dressage, well, the Germans took that one. So, yes, obviously Australia pulling a Campbell there. Fencing, team foil, Russia have got another gold medal to get taken away in a few weeks' time. They took that one out. They beat the French. Good for them. Gymnastics, who won the women's trampoline? Oh, that's right, Rosie McLennan, Canada. Gold for their judo double French gold. Teddy Reiner took the men's 100 kilo plus. That's wouldn't want to see an Ippon in that one. Uchimata and Emile Andiol in the women's 78 kilo. Now the rowing, France got another gold in the lightweight double sculls. Group Britain, as I said, in the cockless 4. Britain again in the cockless pair. In the women's, God, cockless pairs, cockless everything. Nobody's got penises. And the Dutch. I went there yesterday. It's funny yesterday. The women's lightweight double sculls, they beat the Canadians in that one. Shooting. Oh, we're still losing it. Dear old Warren choked. The 50-metre pro went to Germany. Henry Jungenhal, the German, he got that one. And the women's skeet, Diana Baccossi for Italy. Swimming, we've mentioned all of those ones, except for the 200-metre backstroke, which was won by Maya Dorado from the US of A. Knocked off the big favourite, the Iron Lady, and Katinka Hosu from Hungary. Tennis... Well, we sadly didn't see Nestor get a medal. He lost to the great American pairing of Steve Johnson and Jack Sock. We still love his name. But you two are happy. Rafa's on course for double gold. He took gold with his Spanish compatriot Marc Lopez. They beat the Romanian pair of Florin Magria and Haria. Anyway, they beat the Romanians. You two must be... Jarrod, you're thrilled. Rafa's got a gold. I know he won gold in Beijing, didn't he? But he's got a doubles gold now.
Yeah, a good one to add to the collection. Really emotional for him to win that, and hopefully he could do the same in the singles.
We'll talk about that in a second. Colin, you said you watched a bit of... I mean, you're thrilled for your man, Rafa?
Yeah. I mean, I said even when this started that even if Milos Raonic had been competing here, I may have rooted for Nadal over Raonic. So it would be nice if we could have picked up a tennis medal, but I don't think that Pospisil is really in Rafa's league. So good on him.
And weightlifting, wasn't any doubt, of course, in the 85 kilo. We all picked this one before the games. Kianush Rostami of Iran, world record in the men's 85 kilogram, if you don't mind. Waltz to that one. And North Korea, well, he's one athlete that's not going to get murdered when they get back home. Rim Jong Sim won the women's 75 kilograms. So she's going to live for another 4 years. There you go. Good on you, Rim, for winning that one. Just quickly, in the tennis, so the doubles, the men's doubles is gone. The women's, we've been paying attention to this. So Angelique Kerber, you called that one yesterday, Jarrod, that she's the favourite there. She's through. She'll take on Monica Pug, whatever, the Puerto Rican. That's got to be a matchup. So Petra Kvitova and Madison Keys will play off for bronze. In the men's, yes, Rafa into the semis up against Juan Martin Del Potro, and Kei Nishikori and Andy Murray fighting for that one. So come on, Andy, stick it up, Rafa.
Come on, Nishikori.
Boo! No, not Nishikori. He knocked off our Aussie guy. I'm intrigued for the women's doubles because we talked about a bit Martina Hingis yesterday. She's through with her Swiss compatriot Tamia Baksinski, and they'll take on Ekaterina Makarova and Elena Vesnina of Russia. So, I mean, Martina, how old's Martina now, Jarrod? She's got to be pushing 40 by now, doesn't she?
Yeah, she must be close to it.
35. Well, okay, never mind. She's still got a few years in yet. So, go Martina. Anyway, so that's it. So the medal tally, we shall look at that now. That would help us. Well, with Australia pulling such a Campbell on day 7, we've dropped to 9th. We're getting caught by Canada here, Jarrod. Like, what's going on? USA still well out on top. 20 gold, 13 silver, 17 bronze, 50 in total. China in second. Britain have leaped up to third. Those 2 races that they beat the Aussies, well, that's what they get. Japan in 4th, South Korea 5th. We are now behind the Germans, the Russians, and the French. Only because they've won 1 more silver medal than us, though, Jarrod. So there you go. Your silver medals might get us above the French today.
I just have to say, I love that everybody in Rio is booing Russia every time they come out, but the way you phrase it, the Germans, the Russian, and the French.
Yes. Look, you know, there's nothing against the Russians because we know, like, all those medals are going to get awarded to other athletes in a couple of weeks, so it's fine. And I like Germany. Germany's awesome, so I say go Germany, but you don't want to lose to the French. Like, who wants to lose to the French? Anyway.
Bonjour, je m'appelle France.
I get a gold medal. 5 of them to be precise. Hello to all our French listeners today. So Canada are in 13th. You're doing well now, Colin. 2 gold, 2 silver, 6 bronze. You are ahead of Kazakhstan because you've won double the amount of bronzes that they have won. So that's good. And New Zealand, well, they're in 19th. So if they were to win a gold medal today, they will leap ahead of Canada. So pray that New Zealand don't get that gold today, Colin.
I don't know. We have our other male trampoline, Jason Burnett, up today, and he could take the gold for us. We're having good luck on the trampoline right now. We're 1 for 1.
1 for 1. There you go, 100%. One thing, actually, we haven't touched on this at all. We mentioned when they won their first gold. Well, Brazil, the host nation, they've only won the 1 gold still, 22nd place. 1 gold, 1 silver. I mean, this is a big thing. Usually the host nation are doing quite well. What's going on there, Colin? Have you been paying attention to the Brazilians?
Well, I'm paying attention to how crazy the crowd gets every time they go out. I think the only other country I can compare that to was when it was in Italy, the Torino Olympics. But yeah, the crowd's nuts, and I don't know if it's really paying off for them at this point. I will say that Canada's not one to talk, though, about choking as a host nation, because in 1976 in Montreal, we didn't win a single gold.
Well, you didn't win a gold medal at your own Olympics till Vancouver, so, you know, just putting that into perspective. Jarrod, anything to add on the Brazilians not doing too well in their Olympics, or nothing?
Not really. I mean, we threw them a bone today in the penalty shootout. I think that was a little bit of sympathy there.
Yeah, exactly. We did that. Sun Yen, we should mention him quickly, choked in the 1500 metres. Clearly he's been splashing too many people. His arms were too sore, so he didn't even make the final. That was great. See you, Sun. Anyway, what did we watch today, besides what we've already talked about? I mean, we're watching stuff right now, if we want to be technical, but Jarrod, what did you watch today?
Mainly focused on the athletics. It was good to see some discus in there, some shot put, the long jump. And the distance running was exciting to see. Lots of people look forward to the sprinting, but for me, the distance running is just as good.
The distance running. I knew a guy, actually, who was very much into his distance running, and he was always excited when the Olympics comes on. I prefer the sprinting, but that's just personal preference. Colin, what did you watch?
Well, I'm watching the women's 3,000 meter steeplechase right now. I'm going to say I'm the guy who's into the distance running because I got into that about a year ago. So I love to watch this and see that I can run half of what these people can run. It's always fun to say, well, I'm at about 45% of the gold medalists in this one. That's something. But I want to go back because I wasn't on the previous episode and just talk very quickly about table tennis, which I found to be hilarious to watch. They blow on the balls for some reason. They'll bounce it, even though it weighs less than a feather. I don't know what the strategy is there, but the fact that China picked up gold and silver in both men's and women's was impressive. And when I went back and looked at the women's table tennis in particular, China has won 17 out of the last 24 medals in table tennis. So I don't even know if it's a competition anymore. They talk about how they should eliminate women's hockey from the Olympics simply because it's always Canada and the United States all the time. I mean, China's going to win everything in this. I don't know how any other countries even bother to compete. I don't know why table tennis is so big in China either. But other than that, the trampoline, that was... I tried so hard to avoid spoilers, and unfortunately it was spoiled for me before I got home. But I did watch the entire thing anyways, and it was still tense just seeing Rosie McLennan coming from behind. Boxing, I watched Mandy Bujold's first bout she had. The team sprint, I mentioned I watched that for both men's and women's. I like that event. It's over in 30 seconds. And what else? The swimming, obviously, yesterday. And I'm just now starting to watch the athletics. All that Canada, because of the trampoline, took over so much, and the swimming last night. The only thing CBC really showed of athletics was just cutting to heptathlon during breaks. But I'm sort of catching up on that right now. Like I said, steeplechase is on TV, and then the rowing, or steeplechase is on my phone, and then the rowing's on my TV right now. I'm flipping my head back and forth in between comments here.
We've got a piece on some athlete, and they're showing Steve Hooker winning gold in Beijing right now. So that's Channel 7. There's, 20 sports right now live, and for some reason we're seeing a highlight from Beijing. So Catherine posted that on our wall the other day, so good on you, Channel 7. The steeplechase, yeah, that's an interesting event. Who came up with that? Okay, you've just got running, then you've got, we'll put some hurdles there, but why not put water at the end of the hurdles? And what athlete is go Jarrod, go.
To me, it feels like they've looked at equestrian and said, how can we do this without the horse? And that's how they came up with steeplechase. So it would be nice to see an eventing team in. The steeplechase is the cross country. The pole vault, that's the show jumping. And then the dressage, that's probably the rhythmic gymnastics. So there you go. Combine those three, and you've got equestrian without the horses.
That's a good call, actually, now that you pointed out. Here I was going to say something silly about all these people growing up going, I want to jump over hurdles into water, but now it's because they can't ride a horse. So that's basically why they do it. I watch the athletics. The athletics is always fun. I love the athletics just here in Australia because you got Bruce. Bruce is our commentator here in Australia. So, why is there nobody at the athletics? This is the Olympics again. No one in Brazil knows it's on. Give them tickets. They think it's at the Macarena Stadium where they had the opening ceremony. They're all sitting there. Why isn't there anybody running here? It's guys, we built a separate stadium for it.
Because Usain Bolt isn't there yet.
Well, exactly. He's running today, so we'll get to that. And everybody in athletics is a mum. Did you get that in Canada? All the women. You've got to know when they're a mum. Do we need to know? Do we know when they're dads?
Well, I'll say only because the fact that their abs look like that when they've given birth to children, I think it is something that's worth mentioning. Okay,
touche. Good point. Actually, just some breaking news, some sad breaking news. Can I just point this out while we're actually recording this, while the Olympics are on? New Zealand have won another gold medal. So, Colin, look out. They're dropped back now. So they're ahead of Canada.
What did they win in?
It was rowing.
Oh, rowing's not a real sport.
It was in the single or the solo. I don't know, one of them. Here we go. As we're talking, I'm going to get through this because the Kim Brennan's about to come here in the women's single sculls. Emma Twigg, the New Zealander's in this one. Look out. So this could be a bit of liveness that isn't really live because by the time you're listening to this, we already know, and that she pulled a Campbell. I also watched more of the golf. We talked about this yesterday. Gotta love the golf. I didn't, sadly, Jarrod, see our number one fan from yesterday who was so excited when that guy got a hole-in-one. But yeah, did you watch any of the golf, Colin, at all? Did they show it in Canada?
Yeah, well, they were showing it all morning yesterday, and I was disappointed because I was on my way to work and I was wanting to watch the rowing, and it was golf instead. So I'm not. I don't mind watching golf, but I think during the Olympics, I want something that's a little bit more intense and a little bit faster paced than that.
Yes. I saw a bit of the beach volleyball. Sadly, our Qatari athletes are out. They pulled a Campbell, and the rowing, which is on. This is interesting. I don't know. Have you got the rowing on as well, Colin, or is it just in Australia because we're about to win a medal here, or hopefully?
No, it's on. CBC pretty much just airs rowing all the time, even though we're losing in rowing right now. So
We might be able to do...
Maybe they have some contract with Rowing Canada.
What do we do here? Do we take a brief transmission to do some commentary here, or do we keep going on? I don't know how that turns out with our commentary and people can't hear any sound effects, but...
Well, they're rowing right now.
It hasn't started for me yet. They're still at their blocks.
Forward, back.
Oh, how are you on such a delay?
Oh, because Channel 7 suck on my tablet, apparently.
EV Plains has a better internet connection than Hobart. You're the capital of Tasmania.
I've just seen those guys dangling over holding the boats that we talked up yesterday. You know why no one's at these events is because they built all these events right next door to like tall buildings where people live. So they're just watching it in their pajamas, getting out of bed. Like, oh yes, let's watch the rowing. Just open the curtains.
You know, when the Pan Am Games were here in Winnipeg in 1999, I didn't get a chance to go to any event, but I was thrilled that as the athletics was going on, I was able to watch it on TV, and from my apartment window, I could see the Goodyear blimp circling the stadium, and occasionally they'd show a shot of the Goodyear blimp on the TV, and I'm like, look, it's out the window and on the TV.
That's perfect. All right, we're keeping on this run, but okay. Athlete of the day. Jarrod, did you have anybody in your mind at all?
I did. I picked one of our, well, not our, but one of the amazing discus throwers, Polish athlete Peter Malachowski.
Yes.
Mainly because the commentary with the discus is a little bit tricky, and you have to be careful of your timing of when you say certain comments. So we had a beautiful moment where he's just gone for a throw. It was a good one. It's landed. They cut back to Peter. The commentary is a little bit delayed, and it's focused on him. It's a full body shot, and then you get the commentary. It's a big one. Which was just perfect, and it described Peter to a T.
Right. Just going back to the suits we were talking about yesterday with the rowing, that apparently that deserves a news story, seeing the size of male rowers' penises. Wow, okay. I don't know if I can top that one. Well, actually, maybe I can. Jarrod, Colin, do you have or is this going to be an obvious one for you?
Well, I was going to put up Kate O'Brien, the Canadian cyclist who fell over after giving the death stare. But I think, just in all seriousness, the story alone of Jason Schooling or whatever, being the first Singapore gold medal ever, and can you imagine how this story is going to be spun in Singapore? The fact that this is probably Michael Phelps' final individual race of his career, and that Singapore beat Michael Phelps, and they beat Chad Leclos. I mean, it's such a huge story when you really put in that context. I'd love to see him up as the athlete of the day.
And did you see they were showing a photo of Phelps with him taken in 2008 when he was like a kid. And they were talking this up on our coverage. Oh, he was a fan of Phelps, and now he's beaten him. So
the creepiest thing about that is that Michael Phelps was kissing him at the time.
Yes.
You know, Michael Phelps is kissing babies.
Indeed, he was. Just watching this rowing right now. I hope I've caught up to you because I just closed it and reopened it. But Brennan's shitting it in. She's about 18 kilometres ahead of China right now. So she's rowing to Argentina, it seems, right now at this rate. Like, this is a gold, Jarrod. Come on, this is a lock right now for Australia.
Yeah, I'm not going to call it, but I think so.
Halfway
I mean,
point.
she could capsize, and that'd be a typical Australian move. But yeah, she's looking impressive past the 1,000-meter mark and a couple of boat lengths ahead.
3.7 seconds ahead of America, and more importantly, 5.4 seconds ahead of New Zealand right now. So this is good right now for Australia.
I will say the medal that Canada won yesterday in rowing, at this point, we were in 5th. And then we ended up in 2nd, so New Zealand still has a shot.
You just put the Mickey on it. She's not a Campbell. She's a Bradbury. Well, actually, no, she's not, because she's winning, so no one's going to, sink right now. She's a Thorpe, that's who she is. I'm giving it, my one is Dane Bird-Smith, as I mentioned before. Now, he took the bronze, but you know I love a good athlete who just gets extremely excited over little things. I mean, we talked up this with Sally McLennan when she won it back in Beijing, and just anybody, but I don't know if you saw much of his post-race interviews, Jarrod, but he just was going off. He won a bronze medal. You would have thought he won the whole Olympics the way he was carrying on. He's come out there in the interview afterwards. He's like breaking down and crying. He's like, oh, I've looked at my watch. I've done a bloody PB as well. I just can't believe it. I'm stoked. I just want to find my family. Shall we point out his dad was promptly being arrested by Brazilian officials at this point because he didn't have the correct accreditation, was trying to run through everyone to get to his son, but the Brazilian officials, who can't even clean their own diving pool, can arrest the dad of an Olympic bronze medalist because he doesn't have the right pass. So, that's what was happening. And yeah, it was an amazing story. And then apparently I was reading too that he was so overwhelmed with everything that he nearly missed the bus back to the stadium to his medal ceremony because he was vomiting up Gatorade. I think he's just an Australian legend already. You know, stuff the Campbell sisters, this guy for our flag bearer at the end. Who is our flag bearer right now, Jarrod? And we talked about this yesterday, I think. Are they giving it to Mac or Kyle? Or I say give it to Dane.
Kim Brennan.
Oh,
it's Kim Brennan.
She's about 5 seconds ahead now. She's got less than 500 metres to go. If she loses this right now, I quit. I quit the Olympics. Because this is like a bigger lock than, I don't know, that...
This is like watching Katie Ledecky in the swimming.
Yeah, well, exactly.
I'm cold.
She's so far ahead of everyone right now that she's in the sailing regatta right now, about to win a medal in sailing.
I just wanted to say, though, this is the bluest water I've ever seen. Why don't they just dump some of this into the pools for the diving?
Just scoop it up.
The diving outdoors.
Yeah, I should say.
You can dive into this.
I should say that, like we talked about the rowing, it's confusing with their camera angles. Even right now, they've got the helicopter shot, and it's sort of at a weird angle and everything. And this is getting very close. Oh, she's won this. This is a bigger lock than Warren Potent should have been in the shooting.
And you know, all the people who are listening to this episode 3 hours later, and they know that she loses, they're laughing at you right now.
Well, come on, she's up to the Olympic signs now. This is like near the finish line. She's looking around. This is where she does the Usain Bolt, surely, and kind of
over.
She's gone.
Winner. Gold.
Oh, that lane one row is getting closer, or is that just the angle of the camera? I don't like these angles.
That was a lot closer than I thought it would be.
How far behind are you?
Oh shit! Hang on, she won already?
Oh yeah, but it was a lot. US was a lot closer than I thought they were.
Well, fuck, she's only winning right now on mine. Go Australia, go you good thing. Gold, gold, gold. Yes, 6 gold. Suck it, France. We're ahead of you on the medal tally. Oh, this is...
I'm just happy that she didn't try to give the death stare to the Americans and the Chinese right before she crossed the finish line and capsized.
Kim Brennan has just shot Australia back ahead of the French and the Germans and the Koreans, and we're just now behind the Japanese. But they're fine. I like the Japanese. They're awesome. So, yay, we're in 5th again.
They're much better than the French.
Yeah, the French. France probably just won another medal while we're talking about it. Anyway, we'll talk about this tomorrow, even though we're talking about it now. Kim Brennan gold, USA got silver, and China got 3rd. New Zealand didn't medal either. It's a great day to be an Australian. Okay, I don't have a wife of the day. Well, actually, my very first wife of the Olympics, Britt Elmsley, even though she's got that boyfriend that Colin and I discovered the other day,
the boyfriend who's better than you, we discovered?
Well, of course, duh. She actually got to swim again. She wasn't meant to swim at all. She was done. She won a gold. She was off with a boyfriend. I reckon they broke up. She's clearly in love with me because she was back in the pool and she was in the heats of the 4x1 medley, and basically in the interview afterwards she said, yeah, I got the call up, come in and help us in the thing. So she probably won't swim in the final. As long as I don't give it to one of the Campbell sisters.
They're worse than the French.
You said it. So anyway, I don't really have anybody to add. I will put up Jess Fox again just because she's still celebrating bronze. Anyway, Canadian commentary. This is Channel 7 shit, and as we added the other day, news.com.au, even shitter. Now, Colin, we talked yesterday about the Canadian stuff-ups. It turned out they were the ones that you were going to mention. You want to talk a little bit more about them, and I think you've got another one for us today, too, from our friends at CBC.
Yeah, well, the first one, the died like a pig one, I was watching that live, and they had shown the results, and I guess they thought they had thrown a commercial, but it was just an overhead shot of the pool and everything. And the exact quote, I'm trying to find it here. Going out like a stink and dying like a pig. And they referred to it as that little 14-year-old from China. Here it is. The little 14-year-old from China dropped the ball, baby. Too excited. Went out like stink, died like a pig. And following that, there's a very long silence. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, 10, 15-second silence. And then the other commentator says, and we will bring you that conversation on the other side of this break. And I think that was a way to cover up for it, or if they thought they would somehow be able to explain this off. I don't know. There was an apology issued by CBC that said, we apologize. The comment on a swim performance made it to air. It was an unfortunate choice of words. We're sorry it happened. Which is just a hilarious way to apologize to. We apologize that it made it to air. They're not saying we apologize.
You should hear what we had said about it before the race.
Yeah, exactly. I think the fact, though, that people are saying it's racist, I don't understand how this is racist. You referred to it as a 14-year-old Chinese person. Every person I've seen on the internet is referring to the Chinese gymnasts as like 12-year-olds right now. That's not racist. You're commenting on how young they look. And saying that you go out like a stink and die like a pig. I mean, I actually kind of find there was a meaning I saw online of what the phrase means, and I can't find it now. But anyways, I don't know if this is a racist thing. He was commenting on the performance overall. The second one, as you mentioned, the Michael Phelps thing was hilarious because I'm watching the race, and you can easily lose track in swimming, especially when it's a quick race like that, of who's in what lane. And this was Lochte and Phelps. And the commentators for the last 50 meters are over and over again saying, and Phelps is way behind here. He's completely fallen out of this race, and Lochte has taken it. And then you see on the screen, it comes up when the swimmer touches the name Phelps. And they're like, and Lochte takes it, and where is Phelps right now? And then again, a long silence goes, I'm sorry I had my lanes mixed up there. Phelps has won this. It was the same commentator, I'm just going to say. that the Chinese died like a pig.
Do you think he's got a job in a couple of weeks?
I don't know, because for today, last night, during Katie Ledecky's race, this isn't as embarrassing as that, but it's still something where it's like, maybe you should screen your commentators better and get somebody with some speaking abilities. Because as Katie Ledecky was winning, or I believe it was either just as she was about to touch or just after she finished, he goes, the incredible, the incomparable Katie Ledecky.
Wow.
I don't know, these guys should not have a job right now. Like, they need to change up the commentating team. I'm going to go back and just say I want to put up Casey Ledecky as our athlete of the day, too.
Yeah, Casey Ledecky, much better than that Katie Ledecky. So much. It's funny, actually, because they actually showed it here. They have the sort of every hour or so they do an Olympics update on Channel 7, and they get there at the end of it and they're like, oh, and closing today, bit of a commentary gaffe from our friends over in Canada. Let's take a listen. And they showed the whole, Lochte. Sorry, what you just said. And they've cut back to Mel McLaughlin, and she's like, oh, yes, well, Canada might have had a good day in the pool, but not with the commentary. Oh, that's right, Mel, yes, ha, 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 ha. And then you, of course, had Andrew Gaze pop up and go, oh, I thought Canada were a little bit better at commentary than that. That surprises me. Yes.
It's a daily occurrence. They can have a segment on their Canadian swimming commentary fail of the day. They could have that on every Australian channel. 7mate is going to pick that up now that we've said it.
It's just going to be 7mate showing it. My fail for Channel 7 today doesn't necessarily come from commentary. The only one I've written down here was, again, our friends over at the rowing we talked about yesterday's. Drew Ginn, his cliche commentary moment. They don't just give gold medals out, you have to grab them with both hands. Like, that doesn't necessarily mean you win one. You're just a thief. You actually have to win it first, Drew. But I was flicking through it tonight. Because obviously on a Saturday night, Channel 7 had the rights to the football, the AFL, so they're showing that on one game, so you've only got two channels showing sort of highlights of the Olympics before the live coverage starts. flicking between 7 mate and 7-2, they're showing the freaking same thing but at different parts of the match. First of all, it's the Matildas. Oh, they've lost, let's show it again. Then as soon as one of them finishes, they started showing the Boomers. Flick back over to 7 mate. Oh, bad loss there to the Matildas. Let's watch the Boomers. It's like you're showing the highlights on the same channel.
You know what happened, right? 7 mates working off of the Hobart internet feed that's about 30 seconds behind that Ben has.
That is very true. That is very true. I agree with that completely. I'm just watching the athletics here right now, and there could be an Australian runner in here who could be future wife material. I'll pay attention to this in a second. But
was that Ruby you're talking about?
Ruby, yes. I didn't quite see her name. I was looking at another part of her. But that is, she's running right now. I believe this is the 400 metres, I think. Is it?
Yeah.
I'm guessing with those world record times, it's not the 100. So maybe it's the Australian 100.
It's close to my 200, though. I'm just going to claim credit for that.
Yes. Oh, that's the Palau 100. We were watching that before. The Palau athlete who looked like he got his singlet from Kmart and just wrote Palau on it on Texter. What are we doing here? Oh, right, yeah, news.com.au, even shitter. Now, their headline today, with the Matildas losing, wasn't like, oh, you know, you did as proud girls, you didn't... It was, the Matildas were robbed. Because our media is talking up the fact, which I guess in a way is kind of true, because the commentator during the coverage was pointing this out. The goalkeeper for Brazil was being allowed to get off her line very much early in the penalty kick, because you got to stay on your line before the player takes the kick in a penalty shootout. But the Brazilian keeper was continued to come off her line. Now, look, again, I don't think that cost us the victory. I mean, you know, whatever. But I mean, Jarrod, typical Australian media just jumping to blame someone. God, they made the quarterfinals and nearly beat the freaking Brazilians. That should be a good enough story in itself.
Yeah, they always have to find a scapegoat. I just feel like in a penalty shootout situation, the goalie's so disadvantaged anyway. There's that much pressure on them. I don't know why they're not allowed to kind of come off their line anyway. I mean, the shooter's got the whole goal open. There's really no excuse for not scoring. So yeah, it doesn't really stick with me.
Annalise Ruby is her name. She just pulled a Campbell and I don't think made it through. But anyway, I don't really have much. Do you have anything, Jarrod, on Channel 7 today at all?
Yeah, just some of the comments with the athletics. A little bit insensitive with the wording. Michelle Carter, the shot putter from the US, came on, and then the commentary comment was, "That's the most enormous pair of pants you'll see in the entire Olympics."
Wow.
And to be fair, it was referring to how she was wearing these 3/4 pants that were really baggy, but it was just a bad choice of words. I mean, you could say the baggiest pants you'll see in the entire Olympics. I mean, I just cringed as soon as they said it.
Wow.
That's the largest waist size you will see in the Olympics.
Clearly don't watch the men's heavyweight weightlifting there, Bruce. Anyway, all right. Now, I hope, Colin, for our Canadian Athlete of the Day, I had a couple of boring ones that I found, so I don't know if you found a better one for us today.
I don't know. You had the jalapeno joke one.
That's true.
I'm still trying to figure out the joke.
Still haven't worked it out?
No, I'm hoping by the end of the Olympics I'll have an answer for that. We might have to get him on the show just to explain it. This should be obvious. I've been holding off on this one. I was really, really hoping that this wasn't going to end up being a disappointment when we got to day 7, that I was going to be saying, I'm sorry to say that Rosie McLennan did not win another gold. But gold medalist back-to-back, Rosie McLennan, as the Athlete of the Day. So her questionnaire here says, "My name is Rosie McLennan and I'm Canadian." We knew that part already. The greatest Olympian of all time is Clara Hughes, also from Winnipeg, I'll say. Performance in sport, but what she has done outside of the sport. She's done a lot to raise awareness on mental illness, and she's written a book. She's rode her bike across the country. I'll also say she's the only Canadian to medal in both the Summer and Winter Olympics. So Great choice there by Rosie McLennan with Claire Hughes. This one, the first Olympics I remember watching was, she started to write "I don't" and she crossed it out and replaced it with 1992 opening ceremonies. So just the fact that the first Olympic ceremonies you remember watching was, she started to write "I don't know." Now, the question is, you remember. "I don't know" isn't the answer to that.
Oh, hang on, I remember. 92.
Yeah, I don't remember which one was the first one I remember. I think she got a little confused on there. If I could be any superhero, I would be Iron Man. I would love to see Iron Man on a trampoline. I just want to say that. He's going to go right through it. My favorite ice cream flavor is mint chocolate chip. If I were a baseball player, my walk-up music would be Good Feeling by Flo Rida.
Of course.
Or Stronger by Kanye West. Now, come on, Rosie. You are a future prime minister. You should not be putting Kanye on there. That's embarrassing.
Well, he's the future president, so they're trying to work it out so that they got good relations.
Maybe that is, yeah. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. This is NAFTA version 2. Kanye and Rosie and Kanye being brought together through music. The best nickname I've ever been called is Turbo. Rosie Turbo McLennan. I don't know if it works. This one has me scratching my head. If I weren't an athlete, then I would be... She wrote ... question mark. I'm waiting on the answer. I don't know if she's still... she's trying to remember the first Olympics she watched. So she's still stuck on that. If I weren't an athlete, I would be ... She doesn't
I'll
know,
tell
I
you
guess.
in Tokyo.
Yeah. I will be the former athlete watching the next athlete win the gold medal. My guilty pleasure snack is dark chocolate with sea salt and caramel. That sounds delicious, I'm just going to say. My favorite song lyrics is Gotta Love the Life That I'm Living, Good Feeling by Flo Rida. I guess Kanye is second place on that.
Yep.
Most recent TV show I binge watched is Suits. I'm just going to say I got into watching Suits recently, a great show, and going through these profiles, I think half of the Canadians wrote their most recent TV show they watched is Suits, so maybe it just got added to Netflix or something. My favorite place in the world to compete is Switzerland, less air resistance, so we jump higher. Now, trampoline's an indoor event. I don't know if talking about wind or if this is like the heaviness of the air in Switzerland or something.
Those
but
Swiss. Oh.
I think if you jump on a trampoline and it's indoors, like, is the wind resistance different in different countries? Like, maybe we need a scientist on to explain this. Her biggest fear in life, finally, train tracks and being around trains.
Right. Is that why she does trampoline, to jump over them, or?
Maybe, but I remember this. I can't remember who it was whose greatest fear was the spider on her face, and that kind of made sense. Being around a train, like, is she afraid of being run over by a train? But just train tracks, being around trains is secondary. Her biggest fear is train tracks. Like, I just want to see her coming up, walking across, the road, coming up on train tracks, and stopping in her tracks and fully crapping her pants just in fear of the tracks that are before here. Like, we need to see this.
Yeah. How does she win 2 gold medals?
Because there's no train tracks in an indoor gymnasium.
I'm just imagining her being in a toy store and there's a toy train tracks and she's saying, "Get them away from me."
She just curls up in the fetal position every time Thomas the Tank Engine comes on TV.
Yes. Turn it off. Sorry, I guess, is there more, or is that it?
No, that's the last one.
She didn't draw anything of herself?
She didn't draw anything, no.
She didn't get to write cursive?
No, and she didn't get to write in cursive. This must have been like the beta testing of it.
Didn't get to design a medal because she actually knows what they look like?
But, I mean, I would say maybe she did get to draw and she just couldn't complete it, but then again, half of her answers are incomplete, like, if I weren't an athlete, I would be ... question mark.
She couldn't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Now, before I get to the fan messages, another future wife as well here, Genevieve Lacaze from Australia in the steeplechase. This is good to watch the athletics, I think. And she's actually, famously, she was the one who danced up on stage in the closing ceremony of Glasgow. She got up on stage to dance with Kylie Minogue. I don't know if that made the news over in Canada, but she snuck out of where all the athletes were being kept. And when Kylie Minogue was performing, she got up on stage somehow and danced with her. So, as you do. Now, our app. Jarrod, I actually want to point out something that I noted. I actually think the AOC have blocked me from their Facebook page, because I've sort of been doing a bit of spamming on some pages, trying to promote the podcast, as you do. And I've noticed when I go to the AOC page now, it won't let me put anything on there. And when I click like, it says you are not permitted to like this page. So the AOC have officially banned Off The Podium from posting on their page. So, anyway, so our fan messages. James Martin, an overseas fan, to Taylor McCowan, a swimmer. Do you wear eyeliner in the pool? Because damn, it makes you stand out from the rest. Yep. Colin and Sally McKinn of South Australia to David Chapman. Good luck, Chappie. Yep. Not Chapo. Chappie.
Wait, that's it?
Yep, that's it.
And our comments aren't making it on there? Come on.
Exactly. Simon Arkell from South Australia to Henry Frayne. And again, I should really say where these people, what sport they do. I wouldn't have a clue who the hell Henry Frayne. He's probably our next gold medalist. We'll know about him tomorrow. Henry, I knew Bruce pretty well back and the day and have been following your career. I was a pole vaulter. Good luck in Rio. By the way, I was in Woodcock House too. Just saw that on Facebook. Inner Saints posting. I'm guessing there's a lot of commentary there.
I think that's kind of unfair. We're not allowed to go on there and promote our podcast, but they can be like, I did this. Did you hear? Like, our fan message of the day should be like, did you hear about the Off The Podium podcast?
Yes, exactly. Someone sing loves us. What else are we here? To Rosie from in Victoria, to the 16-year-old shooter Aslan Jones. Just finished watching your scores pop up on our computer here at home. Clearly they don't have TV there in Victoria. So proud of you. You are an Olympian. She just obviously discovered that. You are among the world's best shooters, and it's only the beginning of your road. Words can't express how much pride is buzzing in our house right now. Well done. We love you, XXX. She's 16, Rosie. Calm down.
Are they 15, 16, 17?
1 month till we can marry them. Janelle Phillip of Queensland to Mary Hannah. I think she's an equestrian rider, isn't she, Jarrod? Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Oh, this actually, hang on. Congratulations. Love the name, Boogie Woogie. It's the same as my favourite song by Insane Clown Posse.
That's better than J-Mac.
Exactly. Getting an Insane Clown Posse mention. Jeez, what's going on here? Troy Madden of South Australia to Marcus Fraser, our leading golfer. This is inspiration. Be the ball, Marcus. You are doing Australia mighty proud. Love your game, champ.
Be the ball? Is that what that was?
In golf, yes, be the ball.
Like, get whacked by a giant steel club?
Yeah, exactly. Laura from Victoria. Again, I don't know, like, if she... I don't get how people can send a message to the entire Olympic team, because this is Laura from Victoria to the Oz Olympic team. Clearly this is directed to somebody, because this is not the entire team. Congrats on the huge PB. Awesome race. You've done Australia proud. Thanks for being a brilliant role model. Great attitude, perseverance, determination, and faith. Good luck for the 5 kilometre. I'm guessing that's to our 10k runner. What was her name? Eloise Wellings.
Okay, I think that one's that almost like stinks of somebody who just wrote a random message at the beginning. It's like, I really hope fill in the blank does well in the fill in the blank. It's like that Simpsons episode, again, we'll reference the Simpsons, where they did the Super Bowl one that they had to edit the Atlanta Falcons.
Yes. Oh, that's so true. Final one I read here, again, Molly of Western Australia. Molly, these are just posted to them. They can't reply to you. This isn't social media. To Jessica Fox. See, she's my future wife. I get, like, nervous when I say her name. Hi, Jessica. Great job at winning bronze. And in capitals, please reply to this fan message. So, she's not allowed to. She's in bunker to Tokyo. All right, what sport are we focusing on today? Who are we sending one to?
Is there a sailor in there?
Oh, there's got to be a sailor. I mean, they remember we've got sailors, right? The AOC, or have they blocked us from that too? Jesus, there's a lot of sailors. Wow. Jason Waterhouse, that's kind of convenient. Ashley Stoddart, Carrie Smith, Will Ryan, Jamie Ryan, Nathan Outeridge, Jake Lilly, Ian Jensen, Lisa Darmanin, Tom Burton, or Matthew Belcher.
Oh, with a name like Matthew Belcher, we got to go for that one.
All right, send a fan message to me. Actually, no, just quickly, it doesn't have any. Usually, it tells you their nicknames and stuff. Oh, here we go. Nickname Matty. Well, he's a reigning Olympic champion.
Can we just call him Belcho?
Yeah, Belcho. Isn't this hilarious? The fact that he's actually a reigning Olympic gold medalist, and Jarrod and I are probably both like, "Who the fuck's?" All right, he's a gold medalist. Yep, absolutely. So we love our sailors in Australia. They're heroes. Obviously, I didn't buy that stamp. Have you seen any of the Olympic stamps yet, Jarrod? I haven't seen any of them yet.
I saw one for the shooter, Skinner. Right. But that's it.
I saw the Campbell ones, which they quickly had to burn. Australia Post had them ready to go. All right, so what are we saying to Belcher? Burp your way to sailing gold?
How about, hi, Belcho, have you left the harbour yet?
Hi, Belcho. Have you left? This is where we're meant to be like, I remember you from seeing you in Kmart. Remember me? I was the guy next to you at the clothes area.
Please reply! Exclamation mark.
Yes.
Have you left the harbour yet? Remember me from Kmart. In capitals, please reply to this fan message. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Done.
I wish I had the job of being the person who filters through these to just see how many idiotic things. I mean, half of them are from Off The Podium, but how many other idiotic messages are like, yeah, we're not posting that one.
I wonder how many of the Campbell sisters legit. Like yesterday, it was the whole thing was filled up with just like, doesn't matter where you finish, we love you, you're awesome. I would have loved to see the ones that had to filter like, you fucking suck, you lost to a Canadian.
You lost to a Canadian swimmer.
You lost to a country who doesn't even know who Michael Phelps is. Go back and learn some
They fall
skiing.
off their bikes and you lost to them in a pool.
Yeah. The pool wasn't even frozen and you lost to them, you duds. Alright, so there we go. Well, then we're into day 8. Well, we've started day 8. Australia's won a gold. Yay. Has Canada won anything yet, Colin? New Zealand have.
No, but I saw a couple of minutes ago, I saw a hilarious shot of an American discus thrower spinning intensely and then throwing it into the net right next to him.
You shouldn't laugh at those things, but the Olympics are funny. So, we've got 21 gold medals today. Final day of swimming, at least until the marathon swimming. Final day of rowing. Well, who cares? We've won gold. That's all that matters. Final day of trampoline. Canada's about to turn off the Olympics. Golf is on still. Rowing. Well, I just said that. I've written here in my notes, rowing, reigning world champion Kim Brennan takes on rival Kiwi Emma Twigg in single sculls. She stuck it up her. Yeah, she won the gold. Water polo, Australia take on Brazil in the women's. Basketball, the Opals against Belarus. Sailing, there's lots. Cycling, Australia's in the team pursuit finals against America. Hockey, the women against Japan. Athletics, as I said before, Fabrice Lapierre in the long jump final. Swimming today, last day as I said, 1500 metres, Mac Horton, Go for Glory, Mackie Boy, and the 4x100 medleys. Beach volleyball, Louise Borden and Taliqua Clancy in the round of 16 against Poland. When I think about beach volleyball, I always think about Poland. And we also have table tennis, badminton, trampoline, shooting, and diving for Australia today. Colin, anything for Canada today, or you just hope that there's something going on?
Well, swimming, we're going to wrap it up with double medals, I'm hoping here, because you said Mac Horton. He'll be going up against Ryan Cochrane in his final Olympics. The only guy who kept Canadian swimming alive for the last couple Olympics, I'll say. So it'll be a sad moment if he goes out without a medal. But then also the 4x100 medley relay. Penny Alexiak will be back in that one. And beach volleyball, this one will be fun. It should be starting in the next 45 minutes. We had the one male team knocked out, but our other male team and both of our female teams are still in it. And the two female beach volleyball teams will be playing each other for Canada versus Canada today.
Oh.
So I'm looking forward to that one.
I think Canada might win that one. You got a chance.
I know. We have a 100% guarantee of winning in beach volleyball today. The track, Andre DeGrasse will be out today, along with Usain Bolt.
Yes.
Anything else going on? I think that's pretty much it. And then, of course, the trampoline, as we said, we have the men's trampoline. Jason Burnett was the silver medalist. So if he could actually improve this time, then we could have double golds in the trampoline.
Well, I should mention, as you said, Usain Bolt runs tomorrow, today, whatever, finally. So we get to see Usain, hopefully. We've talked enough about that Phelps guy. That's week 1. We got to talk about Usain soon, so that's where we're getting excited. So that's very close, isn't it? 100 metres. That means that's 2 days away, isn't it? So get excited. And yeah, we'll talk a lot about that. But as always, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Again, Facebook /Off The Podium podcast, iTunes, YouTube, all the regular channels. You can email us offthepodium@hotmail.com. AOC, if you're listening, feel free to go off with us for our posts and unblock us from Facebook, please. And yeah, that's about it. Jarrod, thank you for your time and your company once again.
No problem, it's been fun. Looking forward to day 8.
And Colin, good to have you back, and hopefully we can talk about 3 days in a row of Canada winning gold medals. How would you like that?
Oh, it'll be great. Jason Burnett better not die like a pig out there.
Well, thank you very much, everybody, tuning in. And again, as always, from here on Off The Podium, remember not to pull a Campbell, and good night.